Hello everyone, welcome to Right Life Kenya. This is a space where we love to delve into matters, mental health, and we want to create mental health awareness and advocate for mental health so that people can be able to get the help they need and so that we can fight the stigma that we know surrounds mental health. My name is Mary Frida Kaira. Today, we want to delve into a topic called mindfulness. It's still the beginning of the year, and I know you're still trying to set the tone for your year. You're still trying to see how to get the most that you can out of this year and out of your life. And so we wanted to begin in this space to help you cultivate practices that will help you take care of your mental health. With me in studio is a very special guest who will help us disseminate what mindfulness means, what mental health means. My special guest is an expert in her field with over 10 years of experience in counseling psychology. She's a lecturer at KCA University and a counseling psychologist there as well. She's also a counseling psychologist at Upendo Livelihoods Organization. So let her introduce herself. Karibu sana.
Thank you, Mary Frida. So yes, I'm Cindy Kagwiria. I am a counseling psychologist and I am passionate about mental health. I, the passion comes from my own experiences in struggling with mental health issues. So that's where my journey began with my own struggles and then wanting to improve the quality of life of people, not just people who have what we call mental health conditions, but having the capacity to deal with everyday stresses. Yeah.
That's very interesting. I am also here because I'm passionate about mental health from my own experiences, but I have a desire as well to help people. And one of the things that is challenging in the mental health space is that so many people are being stigmatized because of mental health conditions. There's also a gap in knowledge that people don't know what exactly mental health is. We have had it in different spaces, but people might not know what that is. So I'm hoping that today you'll be able to shed a little light on that as we help people to understand mental health. But before that, maybe you tell us a little about what it is you do on a day-to-day basis in terms of your work, both in counseling and also as a lecturer.
Okay, so my work currently entails dealing with students a lot. So that's like 80% of my work right now. So both as a lecturer and as a counseling psychologist. So dealing with students, providing lectures, and building their capacity to be within the spaces they're in. I also am a communications director and counseling psychologist at Upendo Livelihoods. So that with that organization, we are all about empowering people, and particularly vulnerable people within society. So the people who can't get access to resources easily. So that is where we come in and help to bridge that gap a little bit.
Wow,
Yes.
that is profound. And so maybe tell us, what is this mental health we keep hearing about in different spaces? What would you say mental health is?
Okay, so let me first start with the current notion of what mental health is amongst like general population. So when people hear mental health, we start thinking of conditions and severe conditions. We start thinking of mad people, who we call mad people, people walking on the streets. We then think about people with bipolar issues,
Yeah.
who have issues with the regulating themselves. We think about depression, anxiety. These days, depression and anxiety have been very, it's like a household name. Like, someone says, "Oh, I'm so depressed. I have anxiety," without really knowing what depression and anxiety are. So that is what people think when we talk about mental health. But mental health, in and of itself, is the general well-being of someone, the emotional well-being, the social well-being, and the psychological well-being. And it's not merely like the presence of a disease or the absence of a disease. It is that wellness of someone. So that is what mental health is. Now, when we talk about mental health issues, those are things that now disrupt the functioning of someone, their presentation in their spaces, now in the emotionality, their psychology, as well as their social space.
So you're saying the same way we say physical health is the same way we are saying mental health. Like physical health, when we talk about physical health, we're not necessarily talking about any condition. We're talking about that person's wellness in the physical space.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yes.
So mindfulness has come up a lot in the field of mental health, but still I know not many people know what mindfulness is and whether it relates to mental health or how to incorporate it in life. So, what do you define mindfulness as? Is it something that um, professionals like you recommend to people in terms of mental health? But maybe we can start with what it is. What is mindfulness?
So mindfulness is originally a technique that was associated with meditation. And meditation originally is from what we call the Eastern cultures, such as the, particularly the Asian cultures. They are the ones who practiced meditation a lot. That is what we borrowed from them. However, mindfulness, as we know it in counseling and in the mental health space, is about centering someone, centering the self, and getting in touch with what is going on with you at any given moment. So it's all about presence, being in the moment. So that is what mindfulness is. And the major thing attached to that is that mindfulness is all about getting in touch with what is going on with yourself, both your thoughts, your feelings, and your physical self, especially without judgment. So that is the key. No judgments. So if you woke up and you have racing thoughts, like I have a big presentation in today, and I'm so nervous about it, what do I do? So mindfulness is about attaching yourself to those thoughts. What is going on with yourself as you're thinking about these thoughts. And then now accepting that the thoughts that are going on are your thoughts. So not being non-judgmental about them and accepting the thoughts as they are. That is essentially what mindfulness is.
To me, it seems like sort of taking a pause and observing yourself, which I feel like we're living in an age where we're so busy. You get up in the morning, there are notifications on your phone that you need to check. For people like me who are mothers, there are people constantly who need your attention in one way or another. When you go to work, it's still the same. So it is easy to go through a day without taking a pause and listening to yourself. So I feel like mindfulness, as you're putting it, has some element of taking time to be aware of yourself and where you are. But even as you say that, how then does this benefit us? How does it benefit me to be mindful, to take a moment in my day and maybe sit with my thoughts and think, I have a project that I'm very anxious about right now. How will it help me to take that pause and take those thoughts in? Because for someone like me who likes to be in control, the immediate thing will be like, I need to sort this out. I need to maybe Google 10 ways I can get rid of anxious thoughts before I present my project. But the mindfulness in itself, how does it benefit someone to practice mindfulness in their lives?
In fact, you put it very well, taking a pause. So, what you aim to do with mindfulness is slowing down. So, slowing down your processes. So, slowing down those thoughts, slowing down your physical self, and that will in turn result in slowing down your emotions. You've talked about anxiety. Anxiety gets you wired. So your body is in a heightened state of reactivity. So when you're doing mindfulness, we are getting the body functions also low. And when you do that, then you're able now to even have more clarity on the solutions that you want to see for that presentation or the thing you want to take control over.
So that to me feels like, yes, I am anxious about this project. The non-judgmental bit is me. It's okay that I am anxious, but let me take a bit and figure out now what do I do or how do I. Does it have a bit of figuring out now the next step after acknowledging that?
So yes, you acknowledge that you're anxious. But mindfulness helps you refocus that anxiety. So figuring out what are you anxious about. So I'm feeling anxious. I want to control A, B, C, D. But what is it I want to control? What are the consequences of me not controlling that? So that then gets you into a space of trying to find solutions about the thing that you're worried about.
That seems like something that can be done. But as I said, we are very busy people and we
Yes.
have a lot on our plates on a daily basis.
Yes.
So are there techniques we can incorporate on a daily, like if I haven't been practicing mindfulness all my life and I want to start this year, how can I do that in simple ways that that young person at uni struggling with units and deadlines can apply, or that mother with a baby at home trying to juggle everything, or that businessman who has endless to-do lists.
Yes.
How can everyone be able to, these people be able to incorporate mindfulness into their daily practices?
So mindfulness techniques can take anywhere between 3-4 minutes up to an hour. So it depends on what you aim to do. And as you say, many of us are we are wired to go, 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 go. So we can actually take maybe 5 minutes out of our busy schedule to practice mindfulness. Now, mindfulness in such a space, it's about, you say, getting in touch with what's going on. So the easiest way is to focus on your senses, using your senses to focus on what is going on. Mindfulness is about putting yourself in the present, in the moment. So breathing exercises, we've had about those.
Yeah.
Now, when we are talking about mindfulness and breathing exercises, is as you're breathing, focusing on how that breath is going. So you're breathing in, how is it coming in? Where do you feel it going inside your body as it goes in? When you exhale, the same thing. So focusing on that helps you to to pay attention to what is going on and also slow down everything else that is going on.
Something I can do in the office.
Yes.
My seat without having to
To move anywhere. Another one that I personally love is a body scan. Now, a body scan can take a while, but a quick body scan can be after I've done the breathing and I'm focusing on the breath, is now where am I feeling the most pressure in my breath? Most of the times, when you focus on that, you will find the thing that is disturbing you. And that disruption is what we are trying to um, do away with, but also minimize it. So sometimes it can be in your stomach, that you're feeling these butterflies and you're feeling like your stomach wants to drop.
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes it's in your chest, sometimes it's in your head. So focusing on that is going to help you figure out what's what. That's a body scan. But now you can do it now in full. So going from your head, your hair actually. How is my hair today? How do I feel? Is it itchy? No. Going to my head, my eyes. How are my eyes feeling today? What is going on there? What can I feel about it? If you want to touch your eyes. Feel how they're feeling. If you're seeing your eyes are open, you're focused on something, what can you see? It's about paying attention. At the end of it, mindfulness is about paying attention to your surroundings, to yourself, and to your thoughts.
So those are two techniques you've given us.
Yes.
Are there more? Or?
Yes, there are many, many more, but those are the in this world where we want quick solutions.
Those are the ones.
Those are the I think what I can say, those are the ones that we can tap into very quickly. Now, meditation, as I mentioned earlier, is part of mindfulness. So mindfulness is part of that. So you can also practice meditation. But now meditation can be either the formula, which is the long form of meditation, or the informal one, which is basically creating awareness of something within yourself. So the breathing can help you meditate. So being aware of how my breath is going in and out of my body, that is awareness. It could be focusing on what happened during the day. If you are a night person, so going through your day and how did it make you feel, what thoughts did you have as you try and center yourself.
So I think you mentioned that some of these practices have their roots in the Eastern culture, but mindfulness is a practice we are advocating for everyone.
Yes.
So does being of a particular faith, for example, if I'm a Christian or a Muslim or a Hindu, does it prevent me from doing mindfulness practices in any way?
No, within the mental health space, it's all about regulating yourself. So regulating your responses, your physical responses, your emotional responses, and your thought patterns. So once you do that, then you're able to function better. And as a Christian, I'm a Christian. So we also have references here and there in the Bible where you hear people being told to meditate on the word, meditate on the word day and night.
Yes.
David was once one of those people who said, I meditate on your word day and night. So it's about focusing on something. So for Christians, like the example of David, it was focusing on the word, the scripture. So taking a scripture and reflecting on it, that is meditation. So reflecting on something, bringing your attention and focus to it, and also attaching yourself to what God is saying in your life. what message is he giving you? So if it's about anxiety, about fear, what does the scripture say? And to focus on that.
That's very interesting to hear. And I'm curious, you're a counseling psychologist, so in the field, do you use mindfulness as part of the treatment regime for as you treat mental health conditions? Do you incorporate it as part of the treatment that you give to those that you see?
Yes, yes, I do. And for me, I've found that mindfulness works, especially for my clients. However, it varies from person to person. So the people I find who are unable to do reflections or do things like journaling, then I recommend mindfulness techniques so that it helps them slow down, take the pause you are talking about, and just get in touch with what is going on with them. Most of the times, when we are in a space of anxiousness, we are focusing on something and something that is uncertain, something that is filling us with doubt. And that is where our headspace is all the time. And sometimes we ruminate on these things and forget to be in the moment, be in the present.
Yeah.
And when you start focusing on the present self, then you're able now to get away from that thing. And that is what we are aiming to do. Remove yourself from that thing that is giving you this anxiety, is making you have this fear and doubt, and put you in a space where now you have a clear mind or a clearer mind. Yes.
So, are there specific conditions you say respond better with such a practice? For instance, maybe depression, anxiety, PTSD. Are there specific ones that?
Okay. All the anxiety disorders can benefit from it. Even depression can also benefit from it. It's simply a tool. It's like the way you have a toolbox, and it's just one of the tools in this toolbox that you use in order to improve your mental health. The same way you have when it comes to your physical self, you have a tool for um, maybe it's diet, eating right. That's a tool for you. Yeah, taking a walk. That's a tool. Or any other exercises you're doing. That's a tool. So mindfulness is a tool in a toolbox.
Sounds very helpful. So, part of what Right Life was doing this month of January was helping our audience to set goals, and as they do their resolutions, to incorporate resolutions about their mental health in there, because you realize that sometimes we set career goals and goals in all aspects of our life, and we forget to set health goals, specifically for mental health. Not many people think about that. So, is there an exercise you can lead us in this episode so that people can maybe borrow from it in their daily practices? As we show them that it's not that hard to practice mindfulness.
The thing I should, I think, emphasize is that many of us set goals. We are very good at setting goals. But then we have this, when it comes to the follow through, then we have challenges, we have obstacles that may impede that implementation. So where to start is thinking about it in small measures, in small steps. So whichever goals you have, think of it as I'm adding something to my already busy schedule, to my structure, I'm adding something. And that's something I want to add it for this and this purpose.
Yeah.
So for instance, the mindfulness. I'm adding mindfulness to my routine so that I can have I can find better ways of um, dealing with stress, or I'm adding mindfulness so that I can function better. I can have a clearer mind. I can have clarity. So that is what I'm aiming to do. So I add that onto my plate. And when I do that, I'm telling myself, okay, let me just do it for 30 days. 30 days is the time that it takes to form an habit.
Happens. Yeah.
And after 30 days, it becomes easier to now maintain that habit. So as you start, you say, maybe I want to be meditating or doing mindfulness for maybe 5 minutes in a day. 5 minutes every day doing your mindfulness, 30 days. As you're doing it, it becomes now a habit. And by the end of the year or half an year, it is already part of your routine. So taking it baby steps. So maybe you start with the 5 minutes, move on to that, or start with the breathing exercises, move on to maybe the body scan, do maybe walking meditation, and progress from there. So just going in incremental as you progress. For instance, with me right now, I'm having anxiety reactions. So anxiety reactions could be increased heart rate. We have increased breathing. The thoughts are racing. Um, so basically, your body is getting itself ready for a flight or fight response. So the brain itself is wired to um, to either face danger or go away from danger. Now, and this is perceived danger or real danger. So for me, perceived danger is I'm feeling unsafe. My safety is not guaranteed, it's uncertain. And safety in this moment is how am I going to perform? It is, am I doing well? It is, am I being a true representation of myself, of my organization, of my profession? So that those things are making me feel anxious. So right now, what is going on with me? I have very sweaty hands and feet. So sweaty hands and feet are a sign of I'm ready to either fight or flee. So that is what is going on with me. So part of me trying to want to center myself, I thought about this actually. The first time I met an exercise of centering and grounding yourself in the present was in a movie. It was a movie's name, Made in Manhattan. So in that movie, the lead male,
Watched it, yes.
yes, he gives the child like paper clips and tells him, you know what, even me, I get anxious when I'm talking in front of people. So what I do is I take a paper clip, unravel it, and I press it down. And that pressing down, I focus on that. Then I don't focus on anything else.
Yes.
Then my thoughts become about what I'm doing at that moment. So that was my first encounter with such a thing. And I was like, finally a solution to the things that I've been experiencing, I've been going through. Like it was my first, should I say, turning point of okay, things can be okay. Things can be okay. So when I'm in that space, I think about that and I'm like, okay, I don't have any paper clips. What do I do? So sometimes I could, if I have longer nails, I just press down, like that's my paper clip.
You feel that.
Yes. Now I tend now to focus on what is that sensation? What am I feeling? How is it going through my body? What is happening? When I don't have that, then I, like now say it, I have sweaty hands and sweaty feet. Then I focus on my sweaty hands and feet. Like, so, sweaty hands, what is that about?
Yeah.
My hands are sweaty and they're also cold. So I focus now on that conundrum. I have sweaty but cold hands. What's that about?
Yeah.
You know? So for me, it's a quick scan. What is happening? Cindy, you're anxious, this and this is going on. It's a quick way of, okay, let's reel it in.
Yeah.
So what I do is a quick scan. What is happening with my body? Like, is the pressure in my head low, in my chest low, in my tummy low, and like as I go on like that. So right now is when like for now I can identify it's in my hands and feet. Sometimes it's in my stomach. In my stomach.
Yeah.
So when I do that, then I focus on it. Now the breathing exercise is to help you hold in those things.
Yeah.
So in, then count 1, 2, 3, 4, breathe out 4, 3, 2, 1. And or you can breathe in and hold. Now it depends on how long you want to hold or how long you can hold. So breathe in 4, 3, 2. So now focusing on that, the way the breath is coming in, the way the breath is going. And we have apps, even on YouTube, that you can go and get guided breathing exercises or guided meditation techniques to help you do that center. Yes.
That's amazing. And those are things that are so easy to include in our daily routines. I saw something once about you mentioned senses. When you're in a moment, when you're overwhelmed, like naming 5 things you can see, I don't know if that's mindfulness.
It is.
5 things you can see, 5 things you can hear, 5 things you can touch, 5 things you can feel, and 5 things you can taste
And small.
and smell. By the end of which you will have like centered yourself from whatever was overwhelming you in the moment. So I think what you have provided is so helpful. I'm looking forward to also add it to my routines. But in general sense, Cindy, what would you tell that person who is struggling with their mental health? Because we are coming from a place where people are not judged for having a flu or malaria or anything else, but people are being judged for having mental health issues. We have many people sitting at homes and not getting the help they need because they are afraid to be branded a certain way in their workplace, in their homes. We have people who have prescribed medication they will not take because they're feeling stigmatized and they don't want to be branded as people with mental health issues. So for that young girl, young boy struggling with mental health, for that parent with a child struggling, for that young woman or age doesn't even matter, for that man or woman who is struggling with their mental health, what would be your advice for them as we start the already running year? What would be your advice to them?
First, and I think um, the most important thing is a change of mindset. In that struggle you're having is not just you struggling with many of us within the population struggle with mental health issues. The same way, many of us struggle with physical health issues.
Yeah.
And I think the myths that we have about mental health come from the stereotypes that we've had about the representation that we've had about mental health issues. The mental health issues we see, the depictions we see, are for people who are just experiencing severe mental health issues. The people who have lost touch with reality. Those are the examples we see on a day-to-day basis, whether it is on the media, movies, films, series, and also as we walk around, those are the things we see. Like that person definitely has mental health issues, but all of us struggle with it. It is okay, as we've uh, come to recently here. It is okay not to be okay. Yes, that's the first thing. And also to be non-judgmental about that struggle. Yes, I'm struggling with ABCD. What is the struggle about? And then to get the help I need. So if I'm having a headache and the headache is not going away, I go to see a doctor.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
So if you have also mental health issues and it's not going away, see a doctor. So I also I tell my kids that I am a mind doctor. So mind doctor meaning that I deal with your mind. There's a physical doctor, there are mind doctors. So people within the mental health field, those are mind doctors. So if you have an issue with your mind, then see a mind doctor.
That for me is profound because you have an issue with your eyes, you see an optician.
Yes.
But if you have an issue with your mind and you hear the word psychiatrist or psychologist, I don't know, there's this label that we need to destroy because, as you were saying, these are just mind doctors. I will not be castigated for breaking my leg and going to a orthopedist or something.
Yes.
So we need to step away from that narrative of thinking of specialists in your field as people treating illnesses that cannot be spoken of, that we should be ashamed of. So when you put it mind doctor, it really sticks to my heart because that is essentially what it is.
Yes. Yes.
So thank you so much for being here, for sacrificing your time and your insights. Yeah. I'm sure the audience have gathered a lot, as have I, in terms of mindfulness, in terms of mental health. Mine is just to reiterate what she has said. If you're struggling, please see someone. If it has persisted, the same way you will go to a doctor, please go and see a specialist. And if you have anyone in your circle that is struggling with their mental health, be that person who encourages them to seek the help that they need. It is okay not to be okay, and we want to make sure that everyone gets the help that they need so that we can all live mentally healthy lives. So thank you so much for being here, for listening to us. I don't know if you have any parting words or a parting shot for our audience.
All I can say is the struggle is real.
It is for
The
sure.
struggle is real. We are all struggling with something, and that is okay. It's okay because that struggle is about something we lack, and we can do things to bridge that gap of lack.
Yeah.
So when we think about it in that way, then it puts us in a space of I can do something. I can do something about what is happening, and that is where we all wish to be.
Thank you so much. That is again Cindy, our specialist and our guest for the day. We are very pleased that you're covering this milestone with us. This is our first expert interview. We should buy you tea because you've started this journey. As she said, let's do something about it. So, Right Life Kenya is doing something about it. We're trying to get the word out there about mental health so that you and I can live our best lives. I want to give a big shout out to Azuri Premier Cuisines for partnering with us for this episode and for giving us this beautiful space to record this podcast. Asanteni sana. Thank you for watching and see you on our next episode.